Hey everyone, just as a bonus this week we're looking inside this 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom. This is a good original example. It's quite rare actually, it's a 5-string. But jokes aside, I've literally just broken the B string on it. We will get it stringed back up at some point, but you'll actually see in the video where we're taking the guitar apart as 6 strings because I have recorded this in reverse. So the inside videos have been very popular, so we're going to try and do them a bit more. But people specifically asked to look inside this one in a previous video, so we will see what we have inside. Like I said before, this is a chrome hardware version. Obviously, you know, you see them a lot with gold hardware, but this is an original example with chrome hardware. So let's take a look. 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom. As you can see, I've already taken the strings off. A bit lazy, but I've just slackened the strings enough to pull the stop bar off, giving me access. So if you can't be bothered to take the strings off, that's a quick way of doing it. So the bridge is original. It's basically the right type, the right shape. There's this I guess it's like join or tooling mark that you see on them, that is on all of them, but generally you get a good feel about these things after you've seen enough of them, so that is correct. One interesting thing about this Les Paul Custom is because not all Les Paul Customs, I mean, I guess the majority of us see them with gold hardware. This is chrome hardware, but it is all original from what I can ascertain. So yeah, we got the chrome stop bar. The bridge, this is known as a Nashville bridge, this type. It's not an ABR1, and interestingly, made in Germany, stamp there. So we're not going to quite get it on the camera. There we go, just about. So German-made bridge, known as the Nashville bridge. Schaller and Goto supplied a lot of hardware to Gibson during the I guess this would be the Norlin period. So if you ever do take your bridge off and it says made in Germany and it's one of those, fear not, it is original. So that's correct for the year. So pickups, I've already removed the lovely little screws, which were actually a joy to take off for once, because
for once they weren't caked in frost and rounded out completely.
Yeah, they can be rounded, caked in dust, as Chris has just stated, and they can be hard to take off, and sometimes they are so hard to take off we give up.
But one little tip for some people is if you scrape a bit of candle wax, dry candle wax, obviously not wet candle wax, and you can stuff it into the head of the screw to give it something else to bite onto. That's a Luke Hobbs top tip.
It works. Also masking tape. Put some masking tape on, and you can get gripped in there. But anyway, these were quite good to take off. I think generally this guitar hasn't been used much, hence why there isn't much rust. It is in great condition. As I said, most things do look original. But we'll get to the rest of the guitar in a minute. So yeah, once the pickups are unscrewed, obviously they do just lift out very easily, so you can see all the cavities are clean, and a lot of the time you can ascertain whether the finish is right as well, but all the finish looks good. And you'll see on these, not all of them are stamped with the date, so during this period these would be Tim Shaw period pickups. My anorak knowledge of pickups is not going to be as good as some people who specialize in just pickups. So I have I like to think that I've got a good general knowledge of guitars in general, so I'm not gonna, like I said, not gonna say I'm an in-depth expert on pickups, but from what I do know, these will be Tim Shaw era pickups with the date stamp. I am told that the very early ones were actually Tim Shaw wound, personally wound, so let's go with that assumption. But anyway, you can see here with the stamp, December 21, 1979, and you can also see that this brown flux around the solder joins is undisturbed, and the solder's undisturbed, so the covers have never been off, so that's another good sign. So we can be confident that the pickups have not been affected or rewound or anything like that. So that's a good thing, and it's got the patent stamp that you should see on these pickups. Patent stickers changed to patent stamps it was 1974-ish. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was 73 into 74, I believe. So the black patent number sticker goes, and then you get the stamp. And then not all of them are stamped with the date as well, but these are, and it is a 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom. So that gives you a good idea on that. And for what it's worth, we better check the other one just to make sure.
Quite a tight one, isn't it?
This is quite tight because the wire usually is
super duper short.
Super short, but we can see there it is 1979. The interesting thing is that you can see there that someone's tried to stamp it and they've missed, and they've ended up hitting the screw head, so they've had to stamp it again. That's a nice little factory anomaly there, but I can see there that the flux and the solder is all intact, so the cover's never been off that one. So again, a nice original pickup there. So that is the pickups. A bit of juggling, get the guitar back safe. As we can see, again, it's in this original chainsaw protector case, very heavy duty. The case has actually seen better days. Got a latch missing on the side there, and the handle's been taped. But yeah, it's done its job and it's protected the guitar, which is in very nice condition. So I'll flip the guitar over and we'll have a look inside on the other side. We're just going to have a look inside the control cavity, which one thing I've immediately noticed is you'll see these two vacant screw holes here. Now what you usually find is a cover over the top that's screwed in to sort of protect all the electrics and the potentiometers, and that screws into this base plate. That is not there. I mean, I'm assuming it's just been taken off by a previous user, assuming that they didn't forget to put it on in the factory, but let's assume that it's been taken off. I guess we'll never really know. So everything looks okay in there. Solder all looks good, and the potentiometers date to 1979. So starting with 137, which is the pot manufacturer code, and then you've got the following two digits, 79, which gives the year, and then the next two digits are always the week of that year. So that is all nice and looking good in there. And then I guess if you go up to the top of the guitar, and then we see the Gibson stamped tuners there, which are also very likely to be German manufactured, much like the bridge. So Gibson stamped tuners there. Again, you can see they're chrome plated, which is original, as this is a chrome plated hardware Les Paul Custom. So hopefully you found that interesting. There's not usually a lot to look for in comparison to things like Strats. I mean, there's more parts in some ways on a Strat, or certainly more things to take off.
Sort of like utilitarian built things, aren't they?
They are, and yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, Strats, because of that, are, I guess they're easier in some ways to fake, because it is a lot of parts all bolted together, whereas I guess a lot of the Gibson stuff is there's less individual parts in some ways. I think most of you know what I mean, where I'm coming from anyway. So yeah, and there's a good example of a 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom, and the good thing is I guess this gives you a bit of reassurance when you're buying, if you are interested in this particular guitar in the sale. So this guitar will be lot 109 in the auction on the 5th of December, and we've put a pre-sale guide price on it of £2,000 to £3,000, and then any hammer price is obviously, of course, subject to our buyer's premium on top. So I hope you enjoyed looking at the inside of this guitar. Nice short bonus video for this week. We will do more of these in the future. We've got some other early strats that we have to dissect, and a few other exciting pieces. We may even have a 50s Gibson that we can go inside possibly in the future. So yeah, thanks for joining us today. As always, please remember to like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for future video uploads, and we'll see you later on this week with a bigger consignment update video. See you next time.